welcome back to Life is Monica Miller. Let's adjust this a little bit better. Okay. Welcome to another vlog. I am recording from my phone, not from my camera. The reason I haven't been on YouTube was because when I was filming a Get Ready With Me vlog in the morning on a Monday. Was it a Monday? Yeah, it was a Monday. Because my dad called in sick on Saturday. He wasn't feeling well. He got worse on Sunday. And then on Monday, when this is going to be a long vlog, so you guys might as well sit down and grab some soda, some chips or something, because this is basically what's going on in my life right now. It was 9:38, the time my dad gets up. Usually I heard his dog getting up and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, maybe my dad's not feeling well. Maybe he wants to sleep in. So about 11:40, I was like, this is not normal no more. My dad doesn't sleep in this late. So I put my ear on his door and I just heard him take one good breath. And that was it. So I started banging the door, like, Dad, let me in. Dad, wake up. Dad, Dad, Dad. So I started kicking the door open. I couldn't because of my back. I was weak, so I was banging my body towards the door, trying to break it open. Then I remember he left his keys on the counter. So I opened the door and I walked into my dad being almost dead. He was very, very cold. He wasn't breathing. So he basically was in cardiac arrest. So I called 911 off his phone since it's not mine, because I didn't want to run back and waste time to look for my phone. I just said, hey Siri, call 911, and they do a countdown. So I just press call and I told them that my dad was barely shallow breathing and he had stopped breathing and he was in full cardiac arrest. So they told me to bring him off the bed to start CPR, and I couldn't. The more I dragged him off the bed, the more the bed came with me. So I told him I couldn't. I had to grab a neighbor. So I ran and grabbed my neighbor and he barely picked him up, put him on the floor and started CPR. And the lady, he got the phone from me because he wanted to hear the 911 operator. And she was like, I want to hear you count. So he was counting. Sheriffs came. They were moving stuff around in my living room. They were moving stuff around in his room, you know. And he was, we brought him back. When we moved him to the living room, or when the paramedics moved him to the living room, he flatlined again. So they shocked him back to life. And the sheriffs were trying to keep me distracted. They didn't want me going in. They wanted to keep me distracted from what was going on. And I didn't care. I didn't want to talk to him. I wanted to be in there with him, but the sheriffs didn't let me. They were distracting me by asking me questions about him, his health, medication. And I only know so much. My brother is the one who knows all his health history. So I was blowing up my brother. He wouldn't pick up, so I blew up on my little sister, and she picked up. And I told her what happened, and she's like, I'm at work. And I'm like, well, get a hold of Chris. He needs to come here now. So he's like, so my brother finally calls me. He's like, what do the EMTs look like? So I described them to him, and he's like, okay, because he worked out here in Palmdale. So he called one of them en route, and they briefed them on how my dad was doing. And then I started like getting everything. Like, I didn't care how the house was. They wrecked my house. They completely wrecked my house. Like, it was like a tornado came through my house and I didn't care. I just left my door closed to my room, left the TV on because I knew the dogs were all like anxious and stressed out because of what had happened. So I just ran as fast as I could to my dad's car and got to the hospital. And he was trachea, which they put a tube in your throat to help him breathe. He flatlined twice. again in the hospital, and I was there when they told me he was in CT scan, and then they called the code blue and CT scan. So I started panicking and screaming like, let me in, that's my dad. And then the security started calming down. Then my brother walked in, and I'm like, Dad just flatlined in CT scan. So I was crying, and he's like, how do you know? I'm like, because he's in CT scan, and they just called the code blue on CT scan. And then when he got there, they're like, cancel code blue CT scan. So I guess with the CPR, they said they brought him back. And they said that if he flatlined one more time, he was going to be a vegetable. So I didn't get to post up the other vlog that I recorded. I don't even want to, because it just reminds me of that bad day. So I don't think I'm gonna post it up. I think I'm just gonna delete it, because it just reminds me of a horrible day. That's why I haven't been on YouTube making makeup tutorials or anything like that, because I've just been back and forth to the hospital. And then I picked up my friend Megan and my ex-boyfriend. My ex-boyfriend and I are back, stronger than ever. We're not gonna let no one get in between us. You know, I learned how to communicate through anger management, going to anger management and domestic violence. So he even said it, that I changed for the better and he changed for the worse, but we balance each other out. I don't argue, because that's not who I am. I rather talk about things and communicate. And I express that to him. Not enough, but he knows. So he talks to me now, but he gets frustrated easily. But he talks to me, and I just have to be patient with him. He's the love of my life. And I had a dream not too long ago with my sister saying that I was going to get something that I always wanted back. And I wonder if that was Gilbert, my man. And then he even said it last night, that for some reason my sister must have sent him here to take care of me. He's at work right now. Since my dad's been in the hospital, I've been taking care of the bills. I've been taking care of the apartment. Him and his sister helped me clean the apartment, because I was just so depressed. I couldn't do shit. I couldn't do shit. Because my whole family was like, if something happens, you're going to be homeless. We can't help you. So my brother told me the same thing, that he didn't care about anybody but his daughter. So I think my sister did send my ex-boyfriend back to take care of me and help me with the bills. But I've just been going through a hard time with my dad, because at first he wasn't getting any better, and I couldn't afford to go through another funeral. My sister died, and I couldn't afford to go through another funeral. So, sorry, my neighbors are so freaking loud. Everything's good between me and my man. I can't complain. The only complaint I have is everything is too good. And it's like, everything feels like it's too good. And it's like, am I in a dream? You know? Am I like in a fucking Twilight Zone? Sorry for cursing, but like, everything is so perfect between me and my man. Like, it was more perfect, and it feels more right than when we were together 4 years ago. I've grown a lot. In the past relationship, I was a narcissistic abuser, selfish person. If it didn't go my way, it was the highway. And I didn't like who I was. So I went to anger management for 2 years and domestic violence for 1 year. Because we're both the perpetrators. But he only really did hit me once, and the other two I provoked. So I didn't like who I was. So I changed myself. I changed myself for the better, because I didn't like who I was. I killed that person. I killed that narcissistic unhappy, disgusting person. And now I am who I am now. Even my man's like, God, you become so soft. He's like, you used to be a hardcore bitch. He's like, what happened? And I'm like, I didn't like that. I didn't like who I was. So I changed for the better. I changed myself. But I felt that I owe you guys an explanation of why I haven't been on YouTube in a while. Because I've been dealing with this family problem. I wasn't ready to talk about it earlier because I wanted to give my brother and my little sister that respect. We were going through a lot, so I wanted to give them the respect. I wanted just to keep it in the family for at first because we didn't know what was going to happen. But my dad is doing better. He's talking. I was going to go visit him yesterday, but my brother said he didn't want any more visitors. He just wanted to rest. And I totally understand because my dad has been through a lot. He's been through a lot. So, but I'm just like, I almost lost my dad. If it wasn't for me who entered his room and my neighbor who started CPR, he's my hero. My neighbor is my hero. So if it wasn't for him who started CPR, my dad wouldn't be here. And that's what they told us in the hospital. If they didn't start CPR on him right away, he wouldn't be here. So I just didn't feel it was the right time for me to come on YouTube and tell you guys what was going on. 'Cause I needed to grieve with my brother and sister and the family. We needed to grieve. We needed to process things. We needed to process worst case scenario. We needed to think about, like, okay, what happens if he goes? What are we gonna do? So, but he's getting better. But then he gets better and then he goes downhill. That's why I'm scared of saying he's getting better, because a few days ago he was getting better. Before he started talking, he was getting better, but then he went downhill again. So, but now that he's talking, that makes me happy. I haven't visited him because I got sick. I went and got tested for COVID. It came back negative. So, but that's what's been happening in my life right now. And that's why I haven't been on YouTube making makeup tutorials and all that. I just don't have the energy. I just don't have the energy, and I'm really emotionally, physically, and mentally tired from going through all this. I'm really happy I have my man by my side to help me. When I start crying, he really calms me down because he knows me crying leads to a seizure. I haven't had a seizure in a year that I can remember. And I don't want to start having them again. So I asked everyone to pray for my dad. My whole apartment complex, we're like a family. They're all praying for him. So I'm just tired, I guess. I had a therapy session this morning in which I was crying a lot because I'm tired. I'm stressed because I gotta fix my car. At the same time, we gotta save money for the rent. So I'm only behind on one bill, and that's my internet and cable, but they work with me, which is awesome because I've never been in this position with them. So, or any of my other utilities or anything. I've never been in this position where I've been but I caught up. I've always paid, you know, I've been with T-Mobile for 2 years, and I've always made my payments on time. I haven't messed that one up. So I just got my man a new iPhone, so we can talk and everything, and I put him on my plan. But yeah, that's what's been going on in my life. My dad almost died. I almost ended up homeless. But I feel like my man saved my life. He feels like my sister sent him here to take care of me. So this is what's happening. And that's all. It's been very hard. It's been a very emotional roller coaster. It's been very, very hard. My man's the best. Now that we've been separated for 4 years and we've grown, he's the best. I have no issues with him buying beer and drinking after work. I feel like he earned it. And even where I'm sitting at, you can stretch your legs. I'm like, here, take my spot, stretch your legs. I'll get you a beer. He's still like, no, sit down. I'll sit over here. Like, that's how wonderful he is. He won't let me move out of my spot. I try to serve him food. I cooked for him. He won't let me serve him. He serves himself. He'll serve me. That's how wonderful he is. He'll cook 24/7, but it's like, no, it's not gonna be like that, like it was before. We're taking turns. So he cooked one day, I cook another day. Or if he cooks breakfast, I'll cook lunch, and then we'll both do dinner together. Or he'll cook dinner and then I'll just be washing dishes. So once tackling dinner, he's handing me dishes to wash and I'll be washing dishes. However, but he's like the best thing that's ever happened to me right now. I'm not alone anymore. Because I always felt alone. Like I had no one to talk to. My confidant was the suicide hotline. But now, he said he always felt alone too, since we separated. And now we're both happy that we're back together, and we're not gonna let no one stand in between us. And I ain't letting this relationship and letting him go. Because now I know what I have in front of me, and now I know the value of it. I didn't know back then, I took it for granted, but this time I know the value. I know his worth, and I know his value. And I know what I have in front of me. So I ain't gonna mess up. I'm not gonna mess up. I know he's scared because he said he changed for the worse. But I'm prepared to help him change for the better. I'm more patient. I'm more loving. I'm more caring. So when he comes from work, home from work, I want to know how it went. I want him to de-stress, to like unload. And, you know, I just want him to be happy. And he is. So far, we both are extremely happy. But I still have that back of my mind about my dad. I can't go and see him because he takes my car to work. So I have to rely on my brother when he goes. So, but I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know why I haven't been on YouTube and why I'm going through what I'm going through. So, with that being said, I love you guys. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It would mean the world to me. Literally, it would mean the world to me. So I'm gonna cut the video off right here. I basically have nothing else to say. I said everything I had to say, and I don't know when I might return to YouTube. I don't know. I don't want to say it might be tomorrow, the next day, the next week. I just am taking it day by day. And I don't know. So I'm just taking it day by day. But I'll try to keep you guys updated on my life and what's going on. They may not be makeup tutorials or get ready with me, but I will try to keep you guys updated on the situation and what's going on for now. And please pray for my dad. Pray for my family, because we're going through a lot. And I love you guys so much. You guys been my rock since day one. So I will see you when I see you guys. I love you very much. Bye.